Well, by the looks of it, we
Hey,
are live.
there we go. Hello, everybody. Nicholas Knockin, Dusko himself here, and welcome to episode 4 of Table Talk, where we talk about all manner of games you can play on the table, whether it be RPG, strategy, board, or card. And I figured today we just do a little bit of a chill stream, just talk some games, do something a little different. And to help me out here, I have my good friend from over at Nerd and 30, Bob Jones.
What's up, folks?
How
Let's
you
talk
doing,
some
Bob?
I'm doing good. Ready to get to talk about some tabletop gaming. You know, the thing that I don't get to do because most of my friends don't tabletop game.
They're not quite into it, are they?
And unfortunately, no. Makes me sad, panda sad, but nothing that can be done about it now.
Yeah, that's too bad. Meanwhile, I had a dry spell not so long ago, but then some friends of mine who graduated from the school that I'm going to be graduating from in a couple of weeks invited me to their Discord. Like, hey, dude, we want you to get into some games with us. And now I'm like, my entire weekend is like all booked
Nice.
every
Hey,
single weekend.
hey, yeah, dude. Believe me, I would love to get a tabletop game going. Like, I don't care if it's like BattleTech, Marvel superheroes. Hell, I would even do like Exalted, uh, Pathfinder. Hell, even classic D&D. Oh, I don't give a shit. Just come on, let's do this.
Just just give me something, anything. I'm a
Pretty much.
I'm a desperate man.
Well, that's the thing about tabletop gaming, dude. You can do so much more, and it's like trying to explain that to people. It's like, okay, picture everything you can do in a video game, everything you can do,
Mhm.
and more.
Yeah, but some people rather have the visual aspect of it done for them. They don't want to do the imagining themselves.
There's maps, there's figurines, there's things you can
Yeah,
do.
yeah, I know.
Don't give me
Um,
that bullshit. Like,
uh,
I'm sorry. It's like prime example. Things that I found in storage. That's like figurines. Booyah.
oh, nice. What figurines are those?
I got a couple of gargoyles from the old Hero Clicks that I don't even know how I ended up with those. Don't
Uh,
ask. I'm not going to. Got some Warhammer 40K, like a couple of those. Uh,
okay.
like, or they're
Those
the
are pretty
40.
expensive nowadays.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gamers Workshop.
Oh yeah. Like, or it's either Warhammer 40K or it's classic Warhammer. I'm not sure, but like this one is from '95 by the looks of it. This one is '96, but unfortunately, like this one's missing an arm. But
Ooh, that
space,
sucks.
yeah, Space Marine. This one's missing both its arms. So, but then I got, but then
Must be the work of the Tyranids or some
uh,
sub masterpiece.
and apparently I get to knock that piece off too. Oh well, I was not gonna really care about it. But the other side here. But and then just a classic old school D&D figures. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And couple of by the looks of it goblins. Like nothing major, but whatever. I mean,
Right.
the I'm not gonna lie. That out of like the figurine stuff like that, the main thing I have is the mech warrior stuff. The battle tech, I should say.
Yeah, I know for sure you are definitely into the BattleTech stuff.
hmm I'm looking at my box with all my battle tech stuff in it right now. All my figurines and everything. I even have some of the MechWarrior Dark Age Hero Click style. Like
Uh,
I got a lot of those. Got a lot of those. We're talking some of the rare ones too. Like I wish I'd never traded my Black Atlas that I'd won back when I was
all right.
doing turn. Well, okay, so the Black Atlas was the way this was back in 2001. You
Mm-hmm.
had to win the Black Atlas. All right, you
Oh,
could yes, you couldn't just
You
you
couldn't just
know,
buy it or order it. You had to actually go to a tournament and win it.
yep, and it was coveted by players because of the fact of how rare it was.
And you
But
won one?
I won one, and
Nice.
you had to win first place in the tournament. So
Huh.
that was the only way to get it. And oh man, but it was worth it. I got the I did trade it for rare mechs for my faction. So then I got like
Right.
2, 3 of them. So it then my catapult broke. And,
Yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes.
and what makes it worse, the catapult broke in storage. Not even broke in play. It broke in storage.
Yikes.
Yeah. What can you do? Like,
So I'm actually kind of curious because no, he's getting something. Watch out, people. He's getting something.
I was actually gonna bust it out and show you the catapult that I'm talking about because you'll get a kick out of
Okay.
it.
All right.
Because I, of course, have the things in this box. I have all my mech warrior stuff close by because I'm that guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What's funny is also in this box. Oh no, I took it out.
Oh no.
Nope. I took and my. No, I was gonna say is also in this box. I have my or
Oh, we
had.
have a Gorgon Knight. What is up, Gorgon Knight? How you doing?
Uh, I like that. What's up, dude? But no, I also had some of the BattleTech trading cards in here that from the BattleTech CCG.
All right.
Yeah, like, but to give you a full an idea, I'm just saying.
Woo. Oh boy.
Yeah, all Banson's Raiders, man. All Banson's Raiders.
That's quite the arsenal in there.
And that's not even all of them. That's the sad thing. Just
Damn.
trying to find the rest of the because, like I said, I'm clearing out my closet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me rephrase that. I have my closet cleared out.
Right.
For the most part, I still got to get one side of the closet the rest of the way. But before I do, I'm trying to get the rest of my shite that I've had in the closet. We're talking. I got my shotgun that's normally put up, secure, things like that, just sitting on out and about. I'm like, yeah, this is safe. Yeah, totally safe. It's just.
Completely safe.
Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, at least it's nice that I can actually get to it for a change. I mean, so and I did find my ammo for it finally. That was a good thing because I
Oh,
can.
okay.
What's funny is I don't even have it loaded.
Right.
You're more than likely you break into my house. You're more than likely to catch some throwing knives or these hands, but not my shotgun. Where the hell did I put this? This is getting ridiculous. I'm just walking around and I know I have this in here. I know,
Trying to find a lost squad in there.
dude. You have no idea. Like we're talking. My biggest problem is I need more bookshelves.
Right.
I have more books than space for books. Like,
I mean, it's usually not too bad of a problem to have, but it's not good on the books themselves. They kind of need the shelf.
oh yeah, you have no idea. No idea. I mean, it's. Oh, there's my BattleTech trading cards. So I will bust some of those out real quick. Like we're talking, I've had to resort to using drawers as
Just a shelf books into.
yeah. Actually, we're talking. My dresser here has like comics,
Mm-hmm.
books, magic cards, the whole shebang,
Right. Right.
but not clothes, which is one of the things that I would like to actually use it for. Uh, I even have drawing supplies and whatnot in here, but no actual clothes. What does that say?
You're a very well read man.
I try to be. Knowledge has been and always will be power. But at the same time, as I've stated many times before, knowledge does man no good if he lacks the physical ability to back up said knowledge. And I need to sell that. Got a hookah that was given to me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there it is. There goes my shotgun and
Don't accidentally shoot yourself. Oh, did you disconnect yourself?
I lost. Yes, I unplugged myself. But I did find what I was looking for. It's just
Finally.
yes. I apologize.
That's fine. It's fine.
This is the box I was looking for.
Just more BattleTech stuff in there.
Oh yeah. This is
How many
well peppered.
boxes of BattleTech stuff do you have?
3, I believe.
3.
Yeah. The third box has all like my tabletop stuff and whatnot.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, this guy knows what's up. Veil of the Void.
Oh, Veil of the Void. These guys I've been howling around with a lot. Their account is actually named after the indie tabletop game that they have created themselves and got full backing, then some.
Nice.
And knowledge is power unless it multiplies in teams.
You know, be glad you're not one of my like close by friends, Gorgonite, because you would so get punched in the dick for that one. Hard. But
yeah, I've been having a lot of good time on Twitter with Veil the Void. They're very active in their community, very active in the indie scene.
Is that the game you're telling me about that was Afrocentric?
No, that's another one that's even way more successful. Veil the Void is a sci-fi one, which kind of prides itself on having what they call a breathing system, where they have their base game, but it's so easy to manipulate. It actively encourages, if not forces you to come up with your own stuff in order to play the game.
Gotcha.
So it is heavily customizable to an absurd degree.
That's awesome, because that's one of the things I like to encourage when I play games is, I'm willing to let players come up with their own things as long as, we got a tank ferret.
Yeah, we got a tank ferret.
But I'm more than willing to let people come up with their own ideas and whatnot, known things that they do, as long as it's within reason and they can explain it. And Banson's Raiders Atlas, behold the glory that is an Atlas.
But whenever people were just coming up with insane concepts and characters, they just try to come up with just to see if it'll be allowed. One person even said that they wouldn't mind being the biological robot race, but be in a ship form, be a battleship, be a playable battleship, and you're like, yeah, that's perfectly fine in the late game.
That's actually, that would be interesting, because the player is only going to be useful in certain instances. So it's like,
yeah, you can do all sorts of things, and I even talked about doing a sci-fi martial arts person who's all about using a pacifistic martial arts that redirects damage back to the enemy, and they said, yeah, that's perfectly legal too.
That's awesome. That really is awesome.
They have a system to account for just about everything.
Right. Hey, it works. And no, the catapult I was telling you about.
Oh, yeah, let me get that.
Dude, literally the stand,
Ooh,
I'm
damn.
like, and I mean, nothing that can really be done. Granted, if I want to get a new one, shite. Let's see. Let's see how much a replacement catapult will be. And,
oh boy.
Yeah, buddy. Banson's Raiders SRM team. Banson's Raiders Peasant Company. That with half of most of the guys broken off, unfortunately. I'm sad about that. Random Colorado button.
Time is a hell of a thing.
Say that again?
I said time is a hell of a thing.
Right? And by the looks of it, they broke off in the box because they're in here, so I might be able to fix it. Who knows?
Yep, as they say, yep, there are rules to make just about anything you could dream of. Um, actually, hey, VTP people, yeah, y'all should have a link to y'all to a shop on y'all's Twitter account, right? I could probably get a link up because people seem to be interested. Let's see if I can find a link.
Let's see. Or
Oh
you
yeah,
can,
here's the thing for pre-orders. If people want to get that, let me link a thing to the pre-orders. There we go, right there in the chat. If you want to get a pre-order of the game, you can go right on ahead. Things for the PDF for the core rulebook is $20. And they even got some other stuff. $57 for the core rulebook, a hardback copy. And if you like the game and bought everything, you can just tip them $1.
right. Well, that's always a good thing. Oh,
And also, fun fact, I actually managed to win a raffle for a free copy of the hardback.
nice. That's badass, actually.
Yeah, they will be the first ever people I've ever owned a physical copy of a rulebook for. Everything else I've either done through PDF or I just like looked over like a DM's shoulder at their computer for.
Right. So I just found a MechWarrior Dark Age Jupiter, and guess how expensive it is because mind you, it's die cast.
Okay, how much?
$127.
Oh God.
Well, this game is completely out of print.
I can imagine.
Like, or not so much print, but they don't make it anymore, to say the least.
Right. Yeah. As soon as I get that book, I would love to do a video of Veil the Void, whether it be a showcase or an interview, because that'd be pretty fun. I just love talking to the Veil the Void people. They're so great.
Hey, that always works out well. I mean, customer service is key, especially in an industry like tabletop gaming, where, let's be honest, too many people are quick to say that the key to success is through more social justice means than actual, hey, let's treat our customers good, have good customer service. I mean, let's be honest, when it comes to, especially, like, I'm not gonna sit there and act like there are millions, but there's not like 100 million people out there or more that play a lot of, you know what I mean?
Right.
Tabletop RPGs, it's a very niche thing, so you don't want to piss off your audience. You don't want to send them running. It's why, like, for instance, D&D going woke, it's like, are you stupid?
Right.
Even in your own rule books, they say you could make alterations, like a game that's free, that's out there, Heroes Against the Storms, I think the name of the game. And they even say there in the book, hey, feel free to play around with the character classes, the races, things like that. The whole point is to have fun. So, and that's the big thing about tabletop RPGs. Even BattleTech, like remember me telling you about Tech Faction back in the day?
Yeah.
That, a lot of the stuff I used for it was originally BattleTech and MechWarrior stuff. Well, that was the original character sheet before I actually got around to making legit character sheets for it, which, got lost to time. But, and the way I look at a lot of, like, tabletop RPGs is it's more about, it's less about, I guess you could say, trying to be in reality, and more about trying to just have a good time.
Oh, yeah. And the Veil the Void people actually reminded me of something. They did something pretty cool not too far back on Twitter, where they asked people like what kind of lore and equipment contributions they would like to make to the game. And they hand selected a few of those, and actually a creation of my own is actually going to be in the game. So,
Nice.
Bill the Void People, how is the additions to the fan lore coming along? Our quote that we say all the time is, "This is going to be fun." I was trying to make a game that I enjoy, the one that others can enjoy, so I can see what you do with it. Oh yeah, they've been telling me I come up with the craziest concepts, and they just want to see what the hell I come up with once I get the game.
Oh, dude, and don't even, all I gotta say to Tank is, you clan scum.
Clan Wolverine.
He's clan scum, dude. I have you know. Granted, he'd simply respond back with freeborn, freeborn, trash. But
right,
because all I gotta say is, Inner Sphere, House Kurita, fucks with it, son. Fucks with it. House Kurita is a broke fucking house. I don't care what anyone says.
Well, since we're talking about BattleTech so much, I guess we can move right into what our favorite games are and why. So how about we start with you? What is your deal with what's your deal with BattleTech here? What's going on here?
Okay, so this story time, kids. back to the 80s, when the world was a much better place. When I lived in Germany and didn't really get to watch American cartoons. But want to know one of the few cartoons I got to watch? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, oddly enough, the Police Academy cartoon, the Ghostbusters cartoon, which most people don't even remember. And I'm talking the original Ghostbusters cartoon, the one in the 80s and whatnot. Back when the New Kids on the Block was on, and their cartoon, and Gem and the Holograms, all them. That time. One of the things that we were able to get in Germany was dubbed animes. And one of my favorite animes, one of my two favorites at the time, was the one and only Voltron.
Yeah, Voltron, I can see that.
And so, we come to the States and everything.
Apparently Tank wanted to correct you on a thing.
Oh, I'm not going to act like to be honest, it's that I can honestly believe. I'm not gonna act like I know all the lore, so that's why I was like, if you're clan, you're clan. But that's actually cool, and makes a lot of sense. We'll go into why that makes sense here in a minute.
Okay. Back to story time.
Back to story time, and then come to the States, and lo and behold, what started showing on air and things like that, but the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Right.
All right, word. That's cool. Well, time goes on. I get into 8th, 9th grade, and buddy of mine.
Believe Pasta canonized us.
That's hilarious. But I get into 8th, 9th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy of mine's like, hey, I just picked up this starter set for a tabletop RPG. What's a tabletop RPG? Kind of like D&D. Oh, I played a little at this time. Not really much, Didn't really get too into it.
Right.
And then he was like, yeah, dude, it's big giant robots. Yeah, dude. A lot of them started telling me about it and everything. I'm like, okay. So I rolled for my mech. I got stuck in the shittiest fucking mech of all. All right. We're talking. No, you literally have to be certified insane to pilot this mech. Want to know why?
Why?
No ejection seat. The one, the only original Spider. It's a light mech. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best way to describe it. This thing is meant for running in and running out. You run in, you salt and pepper, you run out and let the heavies, basically take advantage of whatever damage you did to try to capitalize and multiply that damage, if they're able to. And let's just say from there, that led to the original Samurai design, which was basically a modified Atlas. The reason why I love the Atlas is because I've had so many designs that were based off of the Atlas.
Right.
And it's like, but that's why that's my favorite, because if you do it right and you know how to set it up, the Atlas is an unstoppable. Just, I have shot into a cloud before, right? Couldn't
Mm-hmm.
see what was in there. Just knew that there was units hiding in there because it's what I would do. This motherfucker, I fired it and took out a.
An F tier mech.
Yes, you have no idea, dude. You,
Is that like an official thing? Is there an official tier of mechs?
let me sell my. I will read you
Oh
the,
no,
because it's got to get down to
we
it.
we have awoken the beast here.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. But anyway, so which led to me over the years, I just continued to play BattleTech and whatnot, and every chance I got, and it's actually the one, I guess you could say a tabletop RPG that I got really good at,
Mm-hmm.
and so of course, like I said, I got to bust out the using a Field and Stream boots box for all my BattleTech books and everything.
Jeez. Okay.
Yep. Aspen, Marauder, and Atlas.
Favorite
Speaking of,
assault mechs. Oh, so there's different classifications of mechs too.
yes. You have light, medium, heavy, and assault, if I remember correctly.
Is assault like an adaptable classification? Like you be any of the weights?
If I remember right, anything under like 20, 30 tons is a light. Uh, Anything under like 60 to 70 roughly is a medium. Anything under like 80, 90 is heavy, and anything above that is classified as an assault.
Okay, so it's just the heaviest.
Yeah, it's just heavier.
It's just basically giant death bot.
Oh, yes. Like it's but literally in lore, you had to be crazy to pilot a spider. I'm actually, let me put it to you like this. I'm actually, and this isn't even all my books. That's the sad thing. I still have more books amongst my comics,
Right.
which is actually kind of sad. Dude, I think this is all the.
And
Dude.
and speaking of indie stuff, we'll get into that at the finish your story time and talk about how why you like BattleTech so much.
But yeah, no, and then yeah, 30-meter tall walking fortress of death. No, we're not playing. Like, some of these are so big, in order to pilot, you have to have a Neuralink. Like, part of the reason why a lot of the older art for it, you'll see the pilots wearing very little actual clothing. It's because of how hot the cockpits got. Like, there was no amount of air conditioning that could fix that. Let's see.
Like giant, it's like wearing a giant Godzilla rubber suit but with missiles on it.
Kind of. That would be, but I would save that for more of like the gnome battle armors, which are basically, picture the Hulkbuster, all right, armor from Iron Man, but maybe a little bit bigger. Like the pilots of these things are generally like 7 feet tall, and when I say that they, and when I say that they're built, I mean they muscles upon muscles upon muscles upon muscles.
Lots of genetic modification.
Yes, actually, it's especially amongst the clan, because they're all about the clan.
Genetic perfection or something.
Pretty much, they are built and bred for war. You do not. There's a reason why. Okay, so you'll hear a lot of talk of Comstar when you hear people talk about BattleTech, and you also hear the talk of the remember, right, the fall of Comstar. Now there's a debate amongst the fandom on whether or not Comstar tech was better than your standard inner sphere tech, or was it just the fact that the pilots were that good? All right, and which is why um, if I remember correctly, the reason why Comstar fell is that when the uh, clans invaded, it was Comstar who held them off while the inner sphere mobilized.
Huh.
Yes, it's let's see, go through my. I know I got the when I had so much stuff dealing with BattleTech that I have to go through several things. Ha 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 ha. Okay.
Clans are eugenic human perfections of all colors.
Yes. Yes. Eugenics done right, where it doesn't matter what ethnicity you are. Only thing that matters is your genetic material.
All right.
And let's see. Mad 5S Marauder. Found my Marauders sheet. Terminator. Trying to find the goddamn. I know I got a spider sheet in here somewhere, or at least in the books. And mind you, all the mechs weren't just biped. You had some mechs that were like that had a
Biped,
biped.
quadruped.
Yep. You had mechs of you did, but it wasn't like Armored Core where you had like tank treads, things like that. Nothing like that, because you had actual fucking tanks.
Right.
Like, oh man, you have no idea.
Well, I imagine with mechs, you have your advantages and disadvantages to treads and legs.
Right. Hey, tank. I just found a stat sheet for a mosquito. That's about as useless too. You think I'm playing like there's a reason why most people preferred like people would prefer either like the main ones are like I said Atlas, uh, the Zeus, Hatchet Man, Marauder, like he had mentioned.
Fodder. LOL.
Uh, Pretty much. No, he's not even joking, dude. When dealing with mechs and whatnot in BattleTech, if you weren't like, yes, okay, like a buddy of mine made what was he dubbed the running PPC. He took a light mech frame, removed all the armor, everything that was unneeded from it, just so he could, or would normally be needed, I should say, but took everything he could strip off of it, just to be able to put a ERPPC on a very small light mech. And
Right.
this, mind you, this thing would run in, fire the ERPPC, deal a fuck ton of damage, and dip out because of how fast it was.
So basically, a robotic embodiment of float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Yeah, kind of. It's just
Yeah.
dude, people get insane with their mech builds. Like mine was all about me heating up. Like this is what makes Atlas is why if you're gonna do this, you want a heavy or assault mech to do this with.
Apparently, Tank's favorite light mech is the Hollander BZK4.
I'm not familiar with it, but I can believe it. No, there's
Gauss
there are
cannon for the win.
yes, that ain't that the fucking truth. Gauss cannons have saved my ass before, but no, what I this is funny. The reason why I always have my Atlas set up a specific way, triple strength mimer, a sparrow. Yeah, have fun with that. A 10-ton. I think that's the actual mech that the dude, the running PPC was actually based off of, if I remember right. Actually, because it's just little dinky mech that was designed for. And I'm still trying to find a damn. Oh, tank, King Crab.
King Crab.
King crabs are solid. All right, let me put you like this. We go over the stat sheet. All right, this one here. All right, and this is an inner sphere level 2, walking 3, running 5, 0 jumping. All right, ultra AC 20, Large laser, ultra AC-20 large laser. Max heat 40, heat dissipation 32. The heat sink type double, which you can get double and triple if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. This has extra large engine. Of course, gyrotin. Okay. I was about to be really disappointed. All right, you never want any weapon that requires ammo
Right.
to not have cases. Okay, so let's say someone gets through your armor, right? Either a crit hit or they've actually decimated your armor.
Mm-hmm.
If they get once you're in, you roll for internals, right? That's why everything's set up. I don't know how well you can see it. But 1 through 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
On everything. So you roll 1d6. What gets hit will take damage. If it's ammo, if you don't have a case, it blows up the ammo. I've lost an arm because I forgot to put cases in my mech. I learned that lesson real fucking quick.
Damn.
Yeah. But like oh my god, I can't and this is one of my buddy's customs. He labeled it the Pikachu.
I can only imagine why.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. Like,
Considering you talked about the mechanics with the ammo explosions and the casings, I can imagine some people have taken like some light mechs and made basically suicide bombers out of them.
oh, you can if you are willing to be crazy enough, you can. All right, so basically, one of the things that I did back in the day, all right,
Mm-hmm.
was I had outfitted, which is where I first started doing my design for, or my I guess you could say the way I did the Atlas build. What started with it was I had it set up to where I could have an external rifle as well, right?
Right.
Which is fine. But here's the thing about the rifle: it was designed with explosives in it, to where I could literally grab somebody, like, because there was this one mech that he had made that was basically a Gundam. All right,
Mm-hmm.
and it was roughly a medium weight, and me and the various people we played with had tried on several occasions to take this thing down. Failed. Finally, we got close, and I got thinking about it. I was like, wait a second. So I rushed it while it was overheated, jammed the rifle in, kicked it away, got back out of the blast radius, and blew the rifle.
Hmm.
Needless to say, that thing was, and I made all the rolls. And so from that was the one and only time, and because of that, that's the main reason why I maintain a whatchamacallit, or an external rifle on my Atlas to this day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's an Atlas. I don't care if it has built-in Gauss rifles. Give me an external one, because that will literally save my goddamn ass. It's done it too many goddamn times. Too many times. I'm not even going to sit here and act like it hasn't.
Gauss rifles for the win.
You have no goddamn... Ooh, a Battle Master. 85 tons of tasty. And I know that sounds weird, but you have no idea. Locusts aren't that bad for a light mech.
Jeez, man.
Like, locusts were fairly solid if you knew how to use them. A Phoenix Hawk, a medium mech that's, let me put it to you like this: 9 running. Okay, 6 walking, 9 running, 6 jumping. 2 machine guns, large laser, 2 medium lasers, and but the only thing is that it has standard heat sinks, which What because of those lasers? And no triple strength my armor because it's too small. See what triple strength my armor does is when the more you heat up your mech, the Shadowhawk. Wolverine. But the more you heat up your mech with triple strength mimer, if your mech is in its overheat mode, you have literally the triple the normal strength of your mech. Another Marauder. 2 PPCs, 2 medium lasers, and an AC-5. Another Battle Master. Come on, I know I got a spider stat sheet around here somewhere. I may never use the damn thing. Doesn't mean I don't have the stat sheet. But either way, I think I just showed how much BattleTech I've actually played over the years, and I'm just going through nothing, just constant.
Just taking a trip down memory lane here, huh?
Oh, dude. You would not believe some of the things you can do in BattleTech. Like BattleTech Mech Warrior, like you need both. Like you need the BattleTech books and you also want the Mech Warrior books. Because see, BattleTech is strictly the mechs, alright? It has some rules, but not really that much for pilots and doing like actual role playing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But once you get, and preferably 3rd edition, because that's what I'm the most familiar with. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. But basically, like MechWarrior 3rd edition, if you knew how to play your character, for instance, played a House Kurita build. Like I shared the video on where I made a TikTok video talking about this back in the day.
Right.
Basically my House Kurita character that got me banned from ever playing a martial arts character with that group ever again. No. I know how to break a martial arts character. We're talking. I punched a dude through the back of his chair, got the rolls and everything. Right? Because the whole idea is to punch the chair and shoot him forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. I punched the chair through, or not so much the chair, but the vehicle seat. Punched through the vehicle seat, through him, literally him. The pilot looks over and sees the fists coming out his buddy's chest and crashes the vehicle, freaking out. Same campaign. Pretty much. Same campaign. Remember me telling you how big and strong known battle armor pilots are, right?
Mm-hmm.
I one-shotted one.
Oh.
By pure accident. I was trying. Because, you know, the story, or the campaign had us end up, you know, having to come up, you know, basically work with some clans. And I was given control of a star of known battle armor. Okay.
Right.
The clan members are very militaristic, very warlike.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. They're not going to follow you if they think you're weak. So you
always have to show strength.
Yes. I basically told them where the buck stops, and if they don't like it, step up, and I'll put them in their place.
Welcome back, Tank.
Oh, what's up, Tank?
You missed the one. You missed the part where he showed off. What was it again? King Crab.
Yes, it's King Crab, Marauder. I showed off a few.
Yeah.
But yeah. Basically he rolled for all the various pilots and everything, and one finally was like, all right, I accept your challenge. Okay. One-shotted her. And he's like, well, technically you killed her, but I'm just going to scale back the damage where you only put her in the infirmary. Yeah. That's. I'm just saying. After that campaign, I was no longer allowed. We went to start playing. I don't remember what it was. Uh, I think it was we were actually yes we were going to play some D&D and I was going to play a monk.
And
I
you're
was
like,
told
no.
yeah I was told no. I had to make a fighter,
Yep.
which relied heavily on hand to hand, which you can do as a fighter. It's a workaround. I'm not technically playing a martial arts character. I'm just playing a brawler
Yeah.
character. The character was still broke as fuck. Because once again, if you know what you're doing, you can break any class. It's just for me, martial arts classes seem to be the main class I can break. Oh, right here, that's what I'm looking for. That right there
Mm-hmm.
is a spider.
Ah,
Okay.
because big body, small thin limbs.
Oh no. Oh no. Let's see. Walking 8, running 12, jumping 8, tonnage 30. Inner Sphere Star League. Yes. Yes. All about the Star League. Okay, so Star League was when the universe, or yeah, the galaxy was whole. It wasn't just you didn't have the clans and the inner sphere. It was they were all conjoined together.
Mm-hmm.
That was known as the Star League, if I remember correctly. Let's see. Tank, that is correct, right? Because you probably know the lore, hopefully better than I do. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure, like cockpit. Yep, yep. Trying to see if they got any like flavor text about the spider to really fill you in, like on what I might actually just have to read from a lore source on it because I finally found the stat sheet, but there was nothing on it. And just just saying what I said to see if I can just get the whole. I'm just saying, I may or may not have
Yeah.
a few BattleTech miniatures because this is
Maybe.
and this, mind you, is like I think like two different sets, maybe even three
Mm-hmm.
of miniatures. Let's see. And see if I can find this. I probably have a spider actually amongst the miniatures. No. Let's see. No. That looks like a. Yeah. Nope. Nope.
Well, you have a good one, Tank. Hope you have a nice day.
Oh, later, Tank. I'm sorry you didn't get to. Oh, I'm sad. I'm the only now I'm the only BattleTech guy here. I don't have
Oh
oh
well.
no no. Uh,
I guess you just have to wipe us out with superior firepower.
hey, don't
Okay. Mm.
I'm just saying, and like it's either way. I mean, I this stream ended up. We're gonna talk about random games. Another catapult,
Mm.
old school catapult though. But we're gonna talk about a bunch of games, so on and so forth. Ends up becoming a BattleTech stream.
Oh, hey,
Sorry, that's my
that's no
bad.
problem. But I am really curious about something. I know you kind of have a finger on the pulse when it comes to indie comics, but how well are you connected with indie tabletop?
I'd be lying if I said I, dude. Other than like you, I really don't have much of a connection to indie tabletops and whatnot. Like that,
That's sad because it seems like indie tabletop, when it comes to fundraising, has been exploding like nobody's business.
which is good because let's be honest, like tabletop RPGs, are always fun, dude. They're like to those who are uninitiated, they don't really they see it and they're like, oh, it's just a geeky. pastime, whatever. And it's like, but once you actually get them to pick up the dice and have some fun, some like straight up, you know, balls to the wall. We've been playing for like
Mhm.
6 hours and nobody wants to stop yet. Fun.
I just have a feeling that as far as tabletop games go, the mainstream only really care about with like card games, really.
Which is a shame.
Doesn't mean like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic the Gathering are still big, and then you got
Well, Magic the
uh,
Gathering is dying. The Magic the Gathering is dying. You have to hand it. You have to admit that. And
it kind of is in the physical aspect, but I think I'm seeing a bit of a resurgence with it when it comes to the online community because they just recently did like a Hearthstone thing, but for Magic the Gathering,
you're
like
talking
the
about Arena.
arena.
Well, see, here's the thing. That's because, well, even then, they're not really having much luck because of the fact that they decided that, how do I explain this in a way? They decided they're going to start having more woke narrative. And, the big issue with going woke is you're trying to cater to people who, the best way to put it, all right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the things that I've pointed out when it comes to, for instance, the LGBT community, like gay rights and things like that. That maybe, just maybe, the gay activists, for like gay marriage, things like that, slowed down as the possibilities of gay marriage becoming legalized and things like that,
Right.
because they kept on pushing and pushing. And whereas, yes, now the majority of conservatives are on board. They're like, whatever, whoopty bam. But they're failing to actually look at the overarching issue of, had they not like that whole, what is it? We're here, we're queer, deal with it. That type of mentality hurts a movement, and especially when you're shoehorning them into various fandoms and geekdoms and things like that, i.e., Magic the Gathering, and shoehorning in a trans character, a body positive character, and things like that.
I did find it weird whenever we got a new card of I can't remember what her name is, but it's just like for the elf faction, and they like tied her to like a prophecy thing that was like alluded to in some of the other cards that I thought would be kind of a big deal, and then we kind of find out this character is like the integral part to that alluded to prophecy, and the only thing in her lore section was that she just happens to be trans.
Yep, and that's the thing we're talking
Okay.
about.
Yeah.
But
It's like,
give me a quick moment.
all right. All right. So Bob is just going to go away for a little bit, probably to feed his caffeine addiction. That man always has to have his coffee. Let's see, Veil of the Void. I love tabletop RPGs, especially mine, but I am biased. I also love rolling 10 to 15 D6s. Are you saying that there's a very likely chance that this will probably result in like a Warhammer, where you have to like get like 2 big old scoops of dice and then just dump them out and see what happens? Because every time I watch like a battle report, it's always like the best just to see these people just like have like close to 100 dice and then in their hands, and they just dump it over the table and see if whatever they wanted to happen happens. It is absurd, but also amazing.
Sorry about that.
No problem. What'd you get out for? You went to go get more coffee or something?
Nope. Parents are back, so
Okay.
I wanted to make sure that they didn't have offload or anything. You know what I mean?
All right, that's fair. But
But as you were saying,
for the most you can get up to 16 dice, it feels so good to roll that many as well. Yeah.
I one of the things I liked, if I remember, MechWarrior did this, which is where you re-rolled sixes. I also
Hmm.
remember, like for instance, the old original Dragon Ball Z tabletop RPG did the same thing, where
Oh,
you
there's a Dragon Ball Z one.
yeah. Let me see if I can find it real quick for you.
That's rather interesting.
Yep, it was fun because I rolled human,
Hmm.
but we had managed to find all the Dragon Balls, and I got my wish out first because I rolled. I got the roll to be able to, you know what I mean, talk
Yeah.
first.
Well, what you wish for?
Oh, I was a full-blooded Saiyan.
Just change from one species to another. That's
Hey,
great.
you could do it.
Yeah, it's technically within the power.
Yep.
But
Well,
one of the reasons why I wanted to bring up indie tabletops, how successful it's become, because okay, out of the ones that I've seen and covered, I covered Empire of Ash, I've covered Titan Effect. They didn't go through crowdfunding, as far as I'm aware of. They were all completely self-funded by the creators and everything. But Veil of the Void here, they were pretty successful. I can't remember how successful per se, but they managed to like breeze right through their goals and stretch goals. And then there's one that I wanted to cover. Swordsfall, Welcome to Tick Tour. They reached like 300% funding on their first day,
nice.
and that's the Afro-centered one.
Oh, okay.
300% funding on the first day, and they still managed to get money, a lot more money by the time their Kickstarter ended. It was ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous how successful indie tabletop games are becoming. Um, there's another one I also saw that I wouldn't mind doing a thing for if I can get a thing for it. Have you ever played an old computer game called The Seventh Guest?
Hmm.
The Seventh Guest is sort of like it's like a who killed who sort of game where you got to solve the mystery of who killed a person in the mansion.
Mm-hmm.
It was very, very successful and very popular back in the day, like back to like old classic computer gaming, like when computer gaming first started out. And a couple years back, more or less, they've transformed it into a board game, and that got pretty successful as well.
Sounds a lot like House on Haunted Hill, actually.
A little bit.
But yeah, right here's the book. Surprisingly enough, for the old
Uh,
tabletop, like
it's one of those games where it's so old and out of print, you just get the free PDF.
mm-hmm. I may or may not have already downloaded it. Just saying.
I might have to download this too.
All right, give me a sec. Copy right in group chat or in
Nice.
the Hangout chat. Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
I saw it. I saw it. And was like, what? This thing was badass back in the day, and it just allowed me to collect more freaking tabletop RPGs. Like I said, it's a shame I don't have any friends who actually play tabletop RPGs and are into stuff like this.
I've actually been planning on doing some live streamed games whenever the games that I'm in right now start to cool down and I get more free time. And especially after I get a job and my schedule actually gets cemented. Like I actually know what my schedule is going to be like for like the next few years.
Right. And
Yeah.
and my only response to that is, I don't know what that's done on the backpack, whatever. My only response to that is, I'm going to switch back to my camera real quick before I go back to screen sharing. Just give me a sec. Stop! Oh, my delicious little clackety clackers. You'll finally
Oh
be
boy.
used. I could,
I wish I had some actual dice. That'd be so good.
dude. I've bought like 3 different sets of dice. Come across like back when I worked at IHOP, they had a set of dice in the lost and found for months, maybe even longer.
Damn.
Nobody claimed him.
You
Yoink.
know, speaking of that, Vale, didn't y'all say y'all was going to do a thing with some of the winners of the draw for the free copies? If you were going to do something involving a live stream game, is that still a thing going on, or are you just joshing us?
Uh, gonna have to give him a minute. And what's up, Gorgonite? Glad to see you're back.
Last minute work bullshit. What kind of nerdy bullshit did I miss? All sorts of nerdy bullshit. All
Let,
sorts.
let me reshare the screen again to because get back to the top because he's gonna be like what?
Yeah, yeah. Bob here just pulled up a Dragon Ball Z tabletop game.
Yep, looking at it right now. Sexy, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Well, Bill, it could be easy enough to do that. We can kind of do what me and Bob is doing right now, through a Google Hangout, or we could do it over Discord for talking. And if Vale the Boy plays with a map, we can go on to like Roll20 and do it on there, because you can make your own maps on there, customize and import your own tokens and other shit like that. Yeah, also got all sorts of stuff that you need for a tabletop game. You can get some pre-gen tokens for like monsters and NPCs. There's some free maps already on there that you can use. They got a music player. They have dice rollers, and you can even make your own make your own card decks if you need to make a deck for anything.
Well, that's sorry, letting the cat in, and he's like slow walking in, like I don't know if I want in. I don't know. Start to shut door. Okay, I want in. Yeah, I know.
That's fair enough, Dale. That's fair enough.
And it's not a stream with me in it if I don't show off the kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got that annoyed look on his face, like I can't believe I let this human do this shit to me. Uh-huh. Well, you're the one who's hanging out at the door, not deciding if you want in the room or not. Don't be mad at me. You should have known that was coming. Hashtag cat logic.
Right.
Because cats are assholes. Lovable assholes. Yeah, ain't that right? Lovable assholes, but still assholes. But I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick while I'm thinking about it, because I know Gorgonite's probably gonna want to check this out. Do 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 do. There it is.
Out of the few tabletop games that I've played, it's actually kind of hard for me to pick a favorite. Like, I wouldn't really consider D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, to be a favorite, but that's the one I play the most because everyone plays Dungeons and Dragons.
All right.
But I've also played Call of Cthulhu. That was pretty interesting. It didn't play for long. It was only one game, but that was pretty interesting. I think it's called The Sprawl. It's a cyberpunk game that uses a 2d6 system. That was kind of interesting. I love playing a fixer. Well, what's another one that I've played? Oh yeah, Vampire the Masquerade. That was definitely fun. I think if there's a favorite, it will be Vampire the Masquerade.
Well, the one downside to that is Vampire the Masquerade has decided to
Yeah,
go all sorts of woke.
White Wolf.
Hey, if they hate money, that's on them. And that's my
Yeah,
response to all these various, companies that decide that going woke is a great idea, the greatest idea since sliced bread and this, that, and the other. It's like, all right,
yeah,
go,
that's true.
go
And,
for it. Go for it.
and I've always wanted to play something with Warhammer, but there's tons of ways you can play Warhammer. That'd be kind of fun. Everything else seems to be mostly homebrewed, not indie developed, just homebrewed.
Well, let's be honest.
Like the vast majority of the tabletop games I've played have been homebrewed, actually.
Hey, homebrew, the one, it's one of those. When you play a homebrew, you're helping somebody that might end up actually releasing a legit tabletop RPG in the future, and you're helping them test what works and what doesn't.
Oh
It's
yeah,
it's like my old Tech Faction uh, game, like that I was talking about. It's like I said, that was entirely percentile based, and to me, I'm a big fan of the percentile system because it's I
oh,
feel
so the percentile system is your favorite system?
uh huh. D20 is awesome. Don't get me wrong, and I played a lot of and BattleTech uses a D6 system. I think
Mm-hmm.
like 2d6 if I remember correctly. But for me, with percentile, like, all right, let's say you roll your stats, right, and you roll a nat 100.
Right.
Like, you don't even have to walk. Like at that point, who cares? You don't have to roll. You have a nat 100 in that stat. It's a lot it's simpler for getting newer players into it because you're not trying to be like, okay, modifiers, things. No, what you have what you have to roll under.
Right.
Like, I'm just saying, I like that they're probably sure a bunch of Swedes. That should have been the first red flag for everyone. Actually, the game was legit, dude. The game was legit. I played it back in the day. But it's the best way to describe it though is also if you I did find this gem looking for uh
Dragon Ball.
the yeah. So it's in the Hangouts chat if you want to check that out too. I might download it. But
Oh, it's from Game Jolt. Dragon Ball Z, Legend of Z RPG. Oh, it's a RPG. Okay. And from what it
mm-hmm.
looks like, it seems like Final Fantasy, sort of.
Oh dude, it basically is, but with Dragon Ball players. Come
Hmm,
on. Or but Dragon Ball characters and whatnot. It's like
that'd be interesting.
yeah. Uh,
That would definitely be interesting. Um, the vast majority of the games I've played have been mostly D20. Maybe a couple of played was a D6 system, but that's about it. I haven't. I've heard of stuff using a percentile system, but I've never seen or played anything that was percentile.
well, all right. So how it switched? Originally, we were using like the D6 idea,
Mm-hmm.
and it ended up. Well, okay. So like I said, if you can figure out how to do it and it makes sense, I'll let you do it. And so they were like, well, and the group had all decided to watch Evangelion. Mind you, I've still yet to watch Evangelion. Everyone else watched it.
I've watched it like years ago, can barely remember anything about it.
Yeah, this is like 2001, 2002 time
Yeah.
frame. Okay. And they're like, well, we want to bring in Avas, but Avas require a sync. And that's what we were like, 2d10 percentile. All right.
Let's
And that
see.
and from there I was like, this system would work great with everything because at that point it's how by going off of percentile, like when you initially roll,
Mm-hmm.
like it really does give you the ability to, if you will, have a little bit more freedom to
Right.
play around with different ideas. And you do certain events, you level up, whatever, you can re-roll your one stat each level up. This way
Mm-hmm.
this way it encourages people to not just go fuck, and you know what I mean?
Right.
Let's see. Yeah, I love systems that encourage new players. I made ours really welcome and encourage new players, which so far new players have liked it a lot. Nice. And Paradox only acquired White Wolf like a year or so ago. Yep.
Yeah,
And
and
go.
that's all it really takes.
Yeah. It really is because, and it's funny because it shows that the people that they have working on this don't really know what the hell they're talking about. They don't know the lore, they don't know anything. They're just like, we're a bunch of social justice activists and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that this game is woke. And when I say woke, I mean woke. I mean, oh my god, we're going to have a vampire that is a gay Muslim, but he's also for all the oppressed, and like, it's going to be so amazing. We're going to win so many awards. I think I do an SJW impersonation pretty damn good.
Meanwhile, forgetting the vampires are an absolute meritocracy. They don't care about anything outside of your bloodline.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. It's the best way
They,
I
they,
can.
they only care about the purity of your bloodline, the strength of your bloodline, and your personal accomplishments. That's all they care about.
Yep, and that's the point I was about to make with the whole how it's not really compatible with woke ideology. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If you're going to, it's like the whole bit with the new Nightcrawler run in Marvel. He's apparently in a relationship with some female and whatnot, and I'm like, whoa, 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 rewind here. Come on, back up, back this up, back this up. Nightcrawler's an ordained priest, devout Catholic.
Yeah, the,
He,
the Catholics don't like their priests having relationships.
I'm just saying. I mean, granted, I'm all for relaxing that rule and letting priests and nuns getting married and things like that. I'm all for it, but currently, Nightcrawler wouldn't do, and that's a prime example of what I'm talking about. Christ, Harley. But anyway, that's a prime example of what I'm talking about, where you have individuals who are not fans of the source material being put in charge of things like, the vampire masquerade, White
Right.
Wolf, Werewolf the Apocalypse, I should say, to be more accurate, and
Mm-hmm.
and all these different bits like D&D. Is a prime example of how they're going woke now, and it's like, who cares? You could make, if you wanted to make a black trans gay elf, nobody was going to stop you. Nobody. And the first DM that did, the rest of the players are going to be like, come on, dude, that's bullshit.
Yeah, and and you can really just do what you want. I still today love telling the story about the game where everyone rolled a bard, bought a tavern, and just turned their game of Dungeons and Dragons into just medieval fantasy sunny in Philadelphia.
I'm just saying. I'm
You could just
just saying. You are limited by your imagination. And so to sit there and try to say that it, and it's why, and this is one of the things that a lot of tabletop RPGers really enjoyed about tabletop RPGs, is the fact that you the
that much freedom.
that freedom to be able to just do and say whatever funny, lol worthy thing within the game. Okay. One guy way back in the day amongst this group that I played with at Digital Dungeon there in Colorado, Greeley, Colorado. The owner's
Yeah.
an asshole, don't get me wrong, but it's still, he runs an independent gaming shop. If you're watching this at some point and you live in Greeley, show the man some love. Regardless of if he's an asshole, show the man some love. Till this day, hate him and want to punch him in the goddamn balls, but we're not going to go into that. He's one of those guys, okay? He's one of those guys. Okay, there's two. When I say that, there's two circumstances. 99.9% of the time, I'm being funny about it. Man, I'm gonna punch you in your dick, motherfucker. Begrudgingly walk off or waddle off. You know what I mean?
What is it with vampire media recently trying so hard to make the immortal, blood-sucking hell beast with godlike powers the injured, oppressed, and misunderstood party? I mean, it can make sense in some certain aspects if the vampire really doesn't want to be a vampire, but power does end up corrupting, and these just ultimately they just have to accept that they're a vampire and they can do whatever the hell they want with their powers. I mean, look at Blade; he's half vampire and he's out hunting other vampires.
Yeah. Dude that I knew back in the day had actually created a guy that had been turned like prior to World War II, something along the line.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking like, let's just say the thing he sold to put it lightly, his character sold an underage prostitute to some Nazis for a couple packs of cigarettes.
Right.
And he was the nice one.
Yeah.
That's the thing people don't realize. Vampire the Masquerade, you're not playing a nice person. You're more often than not playing a very sadistic person.
Or very demented.
Yeah.
Or very insane.
Yeah.
Or very callous.
Like,
you are playing an inhuman character. They do
yeah.
not care for the struggles of the mortals.
Yeah. You don't care about the rules of man. You literally have your own rules. And and if I remember right, if you were somehow arrested, keyword here, somehow, there's even groups that step in and pretty much I guess you could say get you out of jail.
Pretty much.
Because especially if it's on something that you really didn't do or things like that. Granted,
or worst case scenario, they'll just flat out
murder everyone there.
Either that or kill you to keep the secret.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, but that's
especially if you were already on the bad side of the Camarilla for breaking the masquerade too often.
Mm-hmm. Granted, my the one character I played. Sorry, I'm putting everything back up. But the one character I did play in
and Vampire
Masquerade.
the Masquerade, humanity is literally a finite currency that you actually try to maintain.
Yep. And like it was funny is I played a character that was a greaser from the 50s and whatnot. Full-blooded Irish greaser, this, that, and the other. Had the Irish accent, everything. Because why the fuck not? And the fun thing is he vehemently was about not breaking the Camarilla. That was one of his things. Like he was very willing to kill any other vampire that even remotely talked about bending the rules of the Camarilla. He was, if I remember right, he was I can't remember what house he was. I'd almost say he was a Ventru, but I'm not sure.
The noble clan.
I lucked out on the rolls.
I could probably say that. And remember, humanity. If you're to run out of humanity, what would happen is that you basically go the vampire equivalent of feral.
Mm-hmm.
Because you become so blood drunk.
Yeah, and that's one of the things though. But he was like that character solely revolved around like for him. It's like he didn't care what you did. As long as you didn't break the Camarilla, you could be out there having as much fun as you wanted. Hey, long as the humans don't learn.
So I guess he's not a huge fan of the Anarchs or the Sabbat.
Nope. Actually not. That was one thing I do remember. And I remember at his like tick actually was, and this is one area where because I always try to have one redeeming factor with like whenever I play evil characters.
Mm-hmm.
His one tick, his preferred food source was murderers.
Oh, okay.
Because Ventru had a specific food source,
right?
And
the part the Ventru and the Nosferatu were the ones that had specific food sources. Nosferatu only fed off of rodents and the homeless, and then the Ventru you can only like devour like upper middle class and upper class people.
Mm-hmm. But think about it. But it's not so much that if they have a very specific. Remember, they have very specific. Like, there are some that only prefer like the firstborn of a specific type of family.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of them have, but if it, like all things Vampire the Masquerade, the more flaws you take, which feeding habits is specific feeding habits is a flaw, especially when you start getting really specific. It doesn't matter if you're Ventru or not. If I remember correctly, that's the way it was. And so,
Yep, we're talking Vampire the Masquerade.
yep, because come on, bro, gotta keep up.
I think you say like he's in the middle of work right now.
No, I thought that was Gorgonite that was in the middle of work.
No, I messaged Vale on Twitter asking him if they wanted to come in on the live stream. Said, "Nah, I'm in the middle of work, but I'll listen every once in a while."
Hey, oh, speaking of,
Shit, Zelda Wind Waker.
yep, I'm finally gonna play it once I find my GameCube. I'm gonna bust that out.
Nice.
Like that's one of the games I want to stream. But yeah, dude, it's either way. I think that's the upside to a lot of these like old school RPGs, tabletop RPGs and whatnot. Like they used to let you do so much with them, and now I can't help but feel like a lot of these new systems are either going for woke points or they're trying to oversimplify the system to make it player friendly, and it's like
Malkavians, meanwhile, made the most and least sense at the same time.
very
Which
true.
is very fitting for the Malkavians because of their bloodline defect.
Yep, and may I say, one of the funniest things I ever saw was one player got up there was he was playing a Malkavian, and it was, mind you, it was the campaign where I was playing the Ventru greaser and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at one of the other players and goes, "We are enemies," and he starts dancing around too, like I mean, not disconnect the headset again, but he starts dancing around. We are enemies.
Oh no!
Oh, you motherfuckers and me.
Yeah, that sounds like a Malkavian.
Yes, and it was like it's just the funniest thing ever because of the way he was dancing around and getting into it and everything. I was like, oh, that is hilarious. And that was my first real like hardcore introduction to a Malkavian player.
What was it? Was it everything you hoped for?
Oh my god, yes it was. Yes, it was.
Everything you hoped for and everything you feared.
Yes. And like apparently the way he described his character kind of looked a little bummish. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he just came from like a week's worth camping trip in like the back alley.
Mm-hmm. And they just, oh my god, they would do some like, and he'd just be like, yeah, I'm here, man, I'm here. I'm just talking to this cat right now. You're gonna have to leave me. And I was like, what the fuck? Why are you talking to a cat? The cat doesn't talk back. Yeah, he does. Meow, see?
You see? No, look, you offended him by saying he doesn't have a voice.
I'm just saying, Malkavian. If the player knows how to play Malkavian, the humor in the campaign is locked. No worries. You will have moments where you're too busy laughing to give a damn about the game.
You have found your comic relief. You may continue with the story.
If you can stop laughing long enough to do it.
Yeah.
Like, oh god. And that's one of the things that I always liked about the idea of Vampire the Masquerade is the fact that they did have all these different clans that had, if you will, specific, very specific traits that were. And Malkavian just being crazy. I'll never play a fucking Malkavian. I'm not funny enough to play a Malkavian. Period. Because you have to.
What is your favorite clan?
If I remember right, it actually is the Ventrue.
Ventrue?
Yeah, just because of the fact that they're a challenge to play. Because like Malkavians, you could, as long as you have a good sense of humor, you can play them. But other than that, they're not. What are you doing? They're not hard to play, right?
Right.
But Ventrue, because you have to always follow within certain guidelines. You have to keep your nose clean. You have the issue of specific foods, food source, and things like that. They're challenged to play and they're fun to play because of it. Because then you do get specific perks, if I remember correctly, because you're a Ventrue. Like finances are generally taken care of, things like that. So it balances it out.
Oh, yeah. I think because of one specific character I've played, the Toreador will forever be my favorite clan. Because I love that character to death. She was great.
No, I don't blame you, dude. Like, but that's the thing. Like, Vampire the Masquerade in general, like, and I didn't really get to play much of it, but it was a lot of fun. Especially but it's like anything. If you don't have the right group to play with, it's not going to be nearly as much fun as it can be.
Sad to hear, Bale. I'm glad that you enjoyed the stream. I hope we'll be able to talk later. You have a good one, buddy.
Later, Vale. But
I really like those guys. They're good guys. But yeah, I'd say that's kind of the same for any. Well, for like any group doing anything, you just don't have the right people around you. You're just gonna have a bad time doing literally anything.
Right, but being how, I guess you could say, oh wow, so the apparently Vampire the Masquerade is on 5th edition.
Same with D&D. Ain't that funny?
Yeah, but let's be honest, D&D stopped being good. I think the last like really good D&D edition was like 3.5.
Pathfinder people always seem to go on and on about.
Mm.
It's very interesting to play as a Nosferatu in Bloodlines. You're practically playing a whole different game. Yeah, because at that point, the entire game was like 100% stealth mode. You were not allowed to go to the streets above unless you heavily invested in obfuscation and just be constantly invisible.
Wow.
At that point, you'd have to like memorize the layout of the sewers if you just didn't want to get penalized heavily just from people seeing you.
See, and that's further proof that there is just certain, if you will, sorry, I'm not gonna lie, I may or may not be looking for VTM books right now that are free.
Right.
Just because why not? Oh, did I look out and find them? And really, what I'd prefer is the old rule books. I don't want the new ones. I want the old school ones.
Right.
Because the one things I hate is more often than not, right? When they come out with the new books, they always butcher 90% of the lore or the gameplay or the like, I guess, for instance, very like 3rd edition of MechWarrior, where they took everything that worked from the previous two,
right,
and solidified it in the best. I don't even think though they went after MechWarrior 3rd edition. Let's see. I don't even think they even have like the books are even able to be gotten a hold of anymore.
While you're doing your research, let me ask you a question here.
Hmm.
If you were given the chance to play a tabletop game right here, right now, what would you prefer, that game to be? Like, what system would you prefer it? What game itself would you prefer to be? What kind of campaign would you prefer it to be? Like what will be your ideal game that you'd like to jump right on into?
Oh man, anything really like big giant robots have always been my thing. So if I can find something that's along that vein, I'm always down. But other than that, like that's part of the reason why I busted out my my Marvel superheroes book earlier because it was in with my BattleTech stuff. Because that's a prime example of what I guess you could say it's a prime example of a game that gives you a lot of freedom,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time just has fairly good constrained rules.
Right. Goranite says, and Malkavians, if you had headphones, you could actually hear multiple voices giving you either completely unhelpful gibberish or practically cryptic spoilers on many characters.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, because they would actually have the prophecy thing going on too. Because Malkavians are into that shit.
Wait. Oh my! Did I?
Oh, did you find some?
Possibly. Possibly. I mean,
Me, I really wouldn't care too much about the game or system, but there's one type of game that I haven't done in forever that I miss playing that I would love to play again. Is
hmm.
a is a villain campaign where you play the bad guys and you actually have to connive against the powers that be.
Hmm.
Ooh, and it could come with some real fun storytelling.
Oh, I bet it does. Like, but that's the thing. Like, though sometimes the best systems are the ones that, as bad as it sounds, any system that comes from somebody who's looking to make a quick buck is not going to be a good system.
Yeah, nah, it's not. You need to put a lot of time, effort, and dedication and passion in order to make something that will actually work well enough.
Well, it's not just that. It's the fact that you want to have the ability to be able to. You want to play it yourself, and that's. Oh wow, wow! If I had the money, man, I'd buy it.
Well, what you found?
MechWarrior third edition, the BattleTech role playing game, right?
Mm-hmm.
New, $230.86.
What?
Let me kind of signed. All right, no. That's on my good. Give me a sec. Just gotta do and screen share. Do share. All right, right here, dude.
Damn.
Yep. It really is one of those like wow, but it's and one of the things I always thought was funny about the chick here,
Mm-hmm.
Claudia Black, the
Huh.
actress.
Huh.
You see it, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm like, huh, okay,
That's kind of interesting.
right. But that also shows you how many times I've played with that book.
Gorgonite's only response to the price. Ooh.
Oof. Yeah. Oh, I don't blame him, dude. I think I actually do have the PDF. I just don't feel like trying to. That laptop's so slow. I gotta get
Mm.
shit off of it anyway. Like, okay, so when my mom got her current laptop,
Mm-hmm.
years ago, she went and gave me her old one. The only thing is, her old one is slower than dirt. I could sit here, be talking to you, doing stuff and whatnot, and by the time that thing, like, okay, let's say you wanted to end the stream at 6, right?
Mhm.
By the time I was able to find it and do everything I needed, that thing would finally be probably loaded up and ready to go.
We're probably calling it around 6:30, but I see what you mean.
Yeah, but you get what I was saying.
Yeah. You mean
Yes, yes,
Oregon, i.e., best witch MILF?
yeah, maybe, maybe. I'm just saying, back when Dragon Age was good.
Yeah.
God damn it, BioWare. That's all I really like. Ugh.
I still say Mass Effect 2 was like their last good game.
I'm not even going to argue that because I like to. I really do.
I love Mass Effect 2. I definitely prefer Mass Effect 2 over the original. The original, as good as it was, after you play Mass Effect 2 and you try to go back to Mass Effect and like replay it, it gets very slow and boring.
Yeah, why don't you think I'm still on my second playthrough? Like, I got all the way through 1, and then most of the way through the second playthrough of 1, and then I was like, bored now.
Yeah, it's again, I still like Mass Effect 1. I just find it boring on repeat plays, but Mass Effect 2 is always interesting.
Oh, yeah, because
It's always fun.
the things that they did with 2. Like, they tried their best with 2 to make it. They took what worked out of 1, took what didn't work and threw it to the side entirely instead of improving it like they should have done with the frickin' Mako. And
I'm kind of up and down. Like at one hand, I really hate. Like I like the idea of exploring. I just really hated the Mako. I did not like how it controlled.
well, yeah,
But
that's the point I'm making. Instead of
and on the other hand, I do kind of like the planet scanning a little bit.
oh yeah, that was like, but like I said, to me it was I kind of felt cheated because they're like, well, instead of actually just trying to fix this and actually make it doable and fund the pilot and everything, they just was like, we're just gonna take it out entirely. Screw it.
I as much shit as I give Mass Effect 3. Well, then again, I also gave it a lot of positive points. I just don't like Mass Effect 3 a whole lot, but one of the things I do like about Mass Effect 3 is that I do like that snippet of a conversation that kind of called back to a lot of the complaints about the Mako
Mm-hmm.
sections. That was great.
Oh yeah, but it's still one of those. I feel like the Mako. I feel like because they didn't want to actually work on it and fix the problems with the Mako. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that whole meme going around because about how, or I should say, making a resurgence.
Right.
That because you cheated, you robbed yourself and so on and so forth. Like you gained nothing and robbed yourself of any improvement. Ugh,
I
it's
mean, Gorgon, the only two people I really didn't like character wise was Jacob and Miranda. I just found them very boring. But then again, it's Mass Effect. The human companions usually do wind up pretty damn boring. The only exceptions was really Jack and
you mean punk rock biotic chick that can
hey,
have all my babies?
yeah, she was pretty great. And I can't remember his name right now because it's been too long since I played Mass Effect. But the guy in the third game is kind of all right. He's not as bad as the first two, or Jacob and Miranda.
See, the thing that
At least his interactions with Shepard is actually entertaining.
well, see the thing that really got me about I guess you could say 2. There we go. That should I actually fired up the laptop because I wanted to.
right?
Because I actually am looking for that PDF. If I still have it, I'm going to grab it up. But what do you mean 3 programs running? Okay, yes, but
I mean, Mass Effect still was sort of a tactical shooter because you still have to like give commands to your squad mates if you're in the higher difficulties. But I guess it's about as far as that goes. But I don't remember there being like a crap ton of RPG elements in
the
the
first
first
one,
game. In the first game, that the other two don't already have as well.
if anything, I think
And
they.
no, don't think that's like change is like you don't do the looting anymore because the looting just wasn't really that good in Mass Effect One.
It was kind of well. I mean, it auto loots and everything, but it just you didn't know it was auto looting to begin with.
Yeah, but it's like you didn't really get a whole lot of good stuff in the looting. You didn't really get good loots. You still mostly end up getting the equipment you use by buying the stuff, anyways.
Yeah, pretty much.
The only thing that was really good with the looting was like the modifications. That was about it.
I'm going to laugh my ass off if this is. Uh oh. Okay. All right. That was exactly what I thought it was. All right. I was about to be like about to laugh my balls off because I was like, if I have the book already on my computer, then I'm going to be like, what?
Are you only calling it a Gears of War game because it just has a cover system, Organite?
Well, the first one had a cover system.
Because like I do not see a whole lot of similarities between Mass Effect 2 and 3 with Gears of War. And if I have from my perspective, if I have to call Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3 a Gear of War like game, I have to call every single other third person action shooter with a cover system, a Gear of War game because I just do not see that many similarities.
Well, not just that, it's also the fact that you have. Best way I can put it, it's if that's the case, then the old Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter games are GRAW ripoffs and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no insult to be called. Oh, you're just like this bigger named title because you get some good products that just use the mechanics that other people have innovated. Like Shadow of War was a pretty good game, and they just took the combat system from the Arkham Knight games. People didn't really complain too much about that. They actually enjoyed it a lot.
See, the old Arkham Knight games though were top notch. Let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like the up until I'd say Arkham Origins is where it really started to go downhill. Like
Right.
Arkham Asylum and Arkham City were great, and then you got to the whole Arkham, Origins. It's like, then
Yeah.
then Arkham Knight, where let's just be honest, I I I have to agree with everyone who's made the comments that all Arkham Knight is basically Tank Simulator Batman edition.
Right.
And I'm really not trying to be an asshole about it, but it's true. It's not.
Um. No, you didn't, Gorgonite. And I was just being venting about people complaining about games just being X game being just Y game and making that as like a downside to a video game.
Mm,
It is an argument you hear a lot for like years and years. It's just a very tired one.
It's like, how many times am I going to have to hear the same goddamn comments like over and over?
Yeah.
Man, I want that game.
Um.
Civilization Call to Power.
Oh, okay. To get back onto tabletop games, I'm still kind of sad that you said you haven't really watched any of my videos because I've covered some pretty good games.
Well, like I said, it's nothing personal. It's I talk to everyone so much that it feels, even when I'm like, for instance, I'll catch a lot of just some guys videos, not even really that much. I catch like
Mm-hmm.
the occasional one if it's a topic I really want to hear them talk about, but it's so weird. For me, it's different when it's people you actually know. Does that make sense?
Right.
It's like I could. Why am I following this when I can just hit y'all up and actually talk to y'all about this?
Right. I guess it's fair enough.
Like it's and it's nothing, like I said, it's not it. I feel weird when I'm doing that because like I said, I talk to a lot of y'all practically daily, and so it's like, all right. Mm,
Because the two games that I the two games that I have covered, I won mine during a game of, and I find it kind of funny that they both of them they just sort of seem like a bit on the espionage side of things. The first game that I covered was is also actually my first video and also my first interview. Um, it's called Empire of Ash, and what makes that interesting is that it's like a combination of like medieval with industrial age, like time frame,
mm-hmm.
and it is within like a sort of very fascistic, uh, like style nation where there's one nation, one government called the autocracy that sort of like annexed a bunch of other nations into it, and they all kind of like force them like to work together as one people.
Mm-hmm.
They all have like different cultures and different aspects and beliefs and shit of their own, and uh, uh, fair enough, and I agree. To glorize less a bad thing, and more I felt like a lot of potential was lost in how Emmy went with mechanics wise. I mean, it's still a fine game. I'm not sure what else they could have done with RPG elements that would have um, made it good as well. But I guess we'll never find out now, which I guess is kind of sad.
And not at all surprising. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, but
Like,
you were saying?
oh, I was just going to say it's unfortunately that's what happened. I mean, if you have any type of, I guess you could say, system like that, like especially by a company that, if remember right, that's around like the first Mass Effect. They were still BioWare still owned themselves. I think it wasn't. It was
Yeah,
between the first and second Mass Effect where BioWare got bought out by EA instead of just using EA as their distributor.
right.
And to say the least, it's just sad because what do you expect? EA probably was like, "We want this game. We want our motherfucking money back from buying y'all."
Yeah,
Because if the best way to put it is EA is big baby sweets from big money hustlers. And, and probably the only person that caught that reference is more than likely Gorgonite. Because you don't strike me as being big into ICP. No offense, Duskquill.
yeah. But as back to what I'm saying, and the players kind of like take place in like this in this fascistic nation, the autocracy, where the Empire of Ash, because it's an acronym. It's like I can't remember what the acronym is, but it basically spells out Ash, which I recently found out, and I thought that was pretty cool. But and so the players, they kind of like play as secret agents within this within the autocracy, and what they exactly like are agents against is the fact that in the world, like, magic is sort of like seeping like into the world,
Mhm.
and so some really unnatural stuff called apparitions start to happen, and the players, whenever these apparitions happen, the players get like contacted via their handler to go and solve the issue before the populace finds out about it.
Huh. That's a new one. Kind
Oh
of.
yeah,
Either way, it's. And what's the name of this game again?
Empire of Ash. You can
Hmm.
find them on Twitter at Empire of Ash. And as I said, it's the first game I've covered, the first video of this channel, and also my first interview.
Hey, there you go.
And as we talked with the guy, we kind of went through the PDF he sent me. Went through it.
And Gorgonite, that's hilarious. Like I said, I knew you'd know that reference. I knew. All right, okay. To better explain to you what I mean by Big Baby Sweets, Violent J is the head of this crime syndicate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is how you're introduced to him. He's gone through talking to his various subordinates and whatnot, talking about how, where's my motherfucking money, motherfucker? And starts going through all his different people, like the female that he has in control of all the prostitutes and whatnot in the city. It's like, hurry up and show them titties, you big fat titty bitch. She busts out her tits to show him and then he looks at the camera. See, I didn't have to hook you up like that, but I did. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
EA. That's EA. Give you a little something to look at, and then be like, see, I did you this big old grand thing. Didn't have to do that for you.
Give me
Now do you?
money.
Yes. Now do you catch the reference a bit more, or understand the reference
Yeah.
a bit more?
Well,
It's just, oh my god, it's sad and hilarious at the same time.
and the other game that I've covered, which should be my second video and also my first showcase, is called Titan Effect. Now, I really like Titan Effect because it has a very, very interesting setup. It's, a bit sci-fi-ish, but still, like modern day world, as we say, it's just like maybe like 10 or 20 years down the line,
Mm-hmm.
So things are just slightly bit more futuristic than they are now. And the players are part of this organization called the Spear, which is a secret worldwide organization that's
Mm-hmm.
all about combating supernatural threats and anyone like trying to take over the world, right?
Damn it, they're on to me.
Yeah, like you're gonna be fighting like bio-enhanced soldiers, terrorist organizations, psychic soldiers, all that good stuff. And meanwhile, the two like main enemy organizations, one of them is called the Olympians, with their military branch being called the Ares. They're basically like the Illuminati. All right, they're trying to take over the world, right? They're like subterfuge and bio-enhanced. Is it bio-enhanced soldiers, or are they the psychic one? I think they're a psychic one. And then you have the other NA organization called the Directorate. Now, you want to know what the Directorate is trying to do?
Huh.
Trying to rebirth the Soviet Union through bioenhanced terrorists.
Um, um, look like resemble bad plan? Like, totally look like resemble bad plan?
Yeah,
And
it's
I will
it's a
say
super.
this:
What?
I may not have been able to find the third edition. I did find second edition,
Oh, okay.
but I'm just saying, bioenhanced super soldiers. Comrade, we are going to revive the Soviet Union. Do not worry. I have a great plan. We will take all our greatest soldiers, make them stronger, make them more Russian, make them able to handle more vodka, and then we're going to send them out and have them cause terrorist actions that will be blamed on us. The the and then we will use said actions to reforge the Soviet Union. The one sane guy in the room is like, guys, how will this reforge the Soviet Union? You go to Gulag. Probably
um,
killing instinct intensify.
one of my favorite things about the game is that whenever I got the PDFs, I can like review it and do my showcase for it. You
Mm,
want to know how you want to know how the rulebook starts?
huh.
With a comic concept the creator had. Because originally he wanted this to be a comic book, but because that didn't work out, he instead turned it into a RPG. And it starts off with like a few like concept pages from the comic idea that he had. And what it is like some Taliban soldiers like shooting into the like shooting some AKs into the wind, and
Mm.
then out of nowhere you just ripped apart from like these werewolf and leopard creatures.
Why do I see this going very badly? Do not worry, comrades. We control the werewolves. And what happens when we don't? I thought I told you to go to the gulag. Yeah, they kicked me back out.
It's very great, and what's interesting about it is that it's actually a licensed like alternative game for Savage World for the Savage World system.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually licensed for Savage World, which is actually kind of cool. Um, it's also very squad based. Like you actually have to like make a squad. Like the players actually have to like make a squad. Like they need like team positions and everything. You need to have like a squad leader. Maybe you'll get a like the weapon specialist.
Mm,
And and also, how the equipment works is that they got equipment cards where you got like these cards that you can print out or just keep it in like virtual space, and it'll give you like all the details about like the equipment, like special effects, damage, reload time, and all that stuff.
this just. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of interested in playing this just because it gives me an excuse to use Russian accent in a way that is not meant for Russians to be portrayed.
You want to kill some commie bastards with a bad Russian accent?
Exactly. Because, bad Russian accent is best accent for killing commies.
The werewolves have a crippling addiction to vodka and cigarettes. He who controls the vodka and cigs controls the werewolves.
Yeah, yes. And the sad thing is it worked. That line really does work. And I'm just saying, because now I just get it. Instead of the floating fat man, it's the the fat general.
Yeah.
How is it that all of us are skinny and that fat ass is always fucking fat? to Gulag. Damn it! I should have known he was behind me.
Yeah. Yeah, really, there's only two games I've really covered. The only other thing I've ever really covered is a thing from Dungeon Rollers, and Dungeon Rollers are incredibly active. Like they have made a crap ton of stuff, but at the time it was the latest thing they made, which was a additional rule book to put in ancestry weapons into D&D 5e,
Hmm.
which is pretty slick. But by the time I got that video up, they already had their new thing, which adds more. I think it added more story hooks, maybe. Like they had some like extra plot lines for quests and stuff. But I really liked Ancestry Weapon because it added something to a tabletop game that I wish that more games kind of did, which is very customizable weaponry.
Huh.
Because what Ancestry Weapon does is that you can, whenever you're making a weapon, you're basically making like a whole new character, right? You choose what type of weapon it is. You give it a backstory. You give it a personality, which allows it to do something to the campaign that most other weapons can't do. Like maybe you have a weapon where the wielder will hear like a guiding voice in their head while wielding it, or they'll. One of my favorite ones is the soldier's something like the soldier's best friend or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
what it basically does is that the wielder always knows where a bar is. Wherever there's alcohol, he knows the way.
That. Um. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like that. That's funny.
yeah. At least he'll revive Dune memes. That's great.
Right. No, it's.
But also what you can do is that you can gain these things called spirit points.
Mm,
And how you gain spirit points by either leveling up or by accomplishing like milestones within the campaign.
mm.
And with these spirit points, you can level up your weapon to increase its stats and give it abilities. So it's essentially just leveling up a character that you can bash over the head of somebody.
That.
It is so great. I wish more games did shit like that. You can customize the weapon and make it more powerful over time.
Oh yeah. No. That looked like the Thimble. Once again, good plan. A very
Yeah.
good plan. I'm just. All right. Oh, I'm trying to. What the hell?
Yeah, you basically make your own Stormbringer. You can make just about anything you want. You can make a weapon that's absolutely goddamn useless just to have around just to screw with people.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds like something I'd do actually.
I remember
I would remake the. I would make the Wabbajack.
I remember playing a game where a person found a claymore, right?
Uh huh.
Well, it wasn't any ordinary claymore. Guess what it was?
Hmm.
It was the grape sword.
The
The
great
grape
sword.
the grape sword.
Grape? Like
Grape. Like like the little fruit, grape.
who put that
What it
G
did
on there?
And what it did was when you stab it into like once per day or once per long rest, it was either one or the other. But when you stab it into the ground, it would grow like 5 rations worth of grapes.
Huh. That's actually at least if you're a wino, that could be useful.
What do you think I am? Well, actually, I'm just an alcoholic.
Eh.
I'll take anything.
Right.
Yeah.
See, I would do though. That I would so make Wabbajack. Just to, and the thing is I would make several and sell it.
Right? Just cause chaos in the entire world.
Yep.
Everyone is a chaos bringer.
Hey, it's a magical item. It'll fetch for a good price. I am not responsible if someone is stupid enough to try to use it as a
It,
weapon.
it is basically a deck of many things, but as a magic staff. It can
Mhm.
do literally anything.
Yep. But the minute you try to use it as a weapon, attack creature becomes end game like high level creature. Why do I should have just used my
I get to
two?
hunt for food. I don't have any weapons, but here's this stick that some hobo in the village gave me. Maybe I'll just hit a rabbit with it. Hits rabbit, turns into elder lich.
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck me!
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. It's like I just oh. Did you see the one picture about Jesus?
Oh no!
All right, let me sort by date. Because that's always the easiest way to find shit in my funny
You
folk at
know,
this point.
if I were to play a new fantasy RPG, or you could play like a mage or something, you know, it's one thing that I would do that I haven't really seen anyone ever play before.
Huh.
Play a mage who actually makes a career out of being a stage magician.
That's actually so basically there's Zatanna.
Yeah, it's basically be a magician, like a stage magician who is a for real magician who can do for real actual magic and entertain people with real magic.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
So
Oh
okay.
no, I can see where this is going.
Jesus was not a zombie. He was not mindless, nor did he consume anyone. Nor was he a ghoul or a wight. Although his soul and intellect were intact, he was not a rotting corpse. He was not a vampire. While he transubstantiated wine into blood, he never drank it from a person. Jesus was not a ghost or a wraith. He was corporeal and still had his wounds. It is clear Jesus was a lich. A lich is created when a powerful magician or king striving for eternal life uses spells or rituals to bind his soul to his animated corpse and thereby achieves immortality. Liches are depicted as being clearly cadaverous, their bodies still bearing the wounds they received before death. Liches often have the power of necromancy, which allow them to bring the dead back to life.
God damn it, Lazarus.
And this is why and I saw that in the minute you started talking about the elder lich. It's like click. I have to share this. I so need to share this. You need this in your life.
Jesus was a witch. Confirmed.
Yep.
Now all I gotta do is find his phylactery.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
That thing was lost centuries ago. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Control the phylactery. Control the Lord.
I like that.
Lawful heal. Actually, I have a funny story involving some of my friends. When one of them made a healer. Okay, so they were playing a homebrew game by one of our friends who is very notorious for making like super balls to the wall ass hard difficulty games, right? Like the tank of their group have the person who's supposed to take all the damage and survive, only had 5 HP. All right, and most weapons were still like D6, D8. All right.
Okay.
So that explains to you how hard the games are and how valuable healers are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their healer was a priest, all right?
What
And
type of priest?
you're about to find out. So, and he got to notice how hard the game was and how valuable his his healing was. So basically, and so does everybody else. So basically, the guy thought he would be funny to try and push the limits of what his team thought allowable behavior before they speak up and try to stop him. Well, they didn't want to because they knew if they tried to stop him, he would heal them. it got so far in escalation that at one point when they went to a church of a different faith, he was in the middle of trying to rape the altar boy and full view of everybody. And it was like, oh no, I ain't see anything. What are you talking about? Nothing's going on. No, I ain't see shit.
And this is why you always make sure that your healer actually is of a good faith. They will punish their priests for doing such a thing.
and not only did he like go through all of that, you want to know something even worse? He kept that altar boy as a slave afterwards. And brought him with him on those journeys.
Why am I getting a very looking for group aspect? And I know you've read that webcomic. God, that sounds like some shit that they would that you'd find in that bit. Oh my god, this shit's hilarious.
Remember, people, kids, always be nice to the healer, even if he does something wrong.
Right? Unless you luck out and have a heal slut.
Yeah.
Which I find, apparently, I didn't even know that was a thing until yesterday.
Oh, really? You had no idea.
I was like, heal sluts. That's wait, that's a thing? Yeah, people who get off on healing.
Yeah.
I'm backing away slowly. You see my hand. I ain't reaching for nothing. Starts running. Where'd he go?
Actually created a quote unquote, well, I guess by technicality you could call him a heel slut, but he's there's a method to the madness there.
Oh yeah.
And that method was that the context of this is that a friend wanted to convert Brutal Legends into a tabletop game. All right. Right. Me and one other guy wanted to play demon characters, and the guy made a workaround to make that work. And what it is was that like in story, Diviculus usurped like the royal family and made the church like the dominant government among the demons, which is why he went like domination crazy over the world. And the other guy is like the last living son of the royal demon family, right? And I was a member of the church that did not like the dethroning of the royal family and wanted to bring back the balance between the two, right?
Okay.
So I'm a demon priest guy, and of course, in Brutal Legends, the demons are very much into like cult metal, So it all fit like thematically. And my character was a bassist. In Brutal Legends, bassists are healers, right?
Okay.
But he's a demon who, not only into the cult stuff, but they're also in heavy BDSM wear, right?
Okay.
So
like Brutal Legends demons almost.
Yeah. And so
now I want to put that game
and
back.
So with his healing, whenever he played his bass, he had like 4 arms, so he had like a double neck bass, right? And whenever he played his bass guitar, he did his healing by taking other people's damage and putting it onto himself. And of course, with them being into BDSM, it excited him. Let's just say.
I'm just saying. Talking about all this. Talking about all this, I've actually just set Brutal Legend to reinstall back on my computer.
Nice.
Curse you.
And I actually liked his vehicle. I called it the Pain Wagon.
Nice. So, I'm guessing uh, I may have missed it because I was hearing a lot of the dogs barking
Right.
in the background. But was it based off of Brutal Legend, or was that just
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as I said in the beginning of the story, he wanted to turn Brutal Legend a
okay?
into a tabletop game.
Okay, I missed that part because
Yeah.
I was like, so like Brutal Legend. That's why I asked. I was like, wait a second. Maybe I missed it, or maybe I just didn't. Dude, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm starting to get a headache, so I'm like,
Well, I guess it would be a good timing then because it is actually
oh,
6:30.
oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I'm
Uh,
still gonna
I,
take a Tylenol though.
yeah. I actually have some stuff I want to do at 7. So I was like, 4 to 7. My live stream interviews. The only live stream interview I ever had was like 3 hours, and I planned for 3 hours anyway. So 4 to 7 is like, it's good enough.
Oh yeah, no. Like I said, it was just one of those. All of a sudden, this thing came. I think it's honestly, I live in like I stated before. I live in Oklahoma, and it's finally starting to warm up and things like that. And so I was like, oh god, make it
Right.
stop. I hate this time of year.
Oh no, I can imagine spring. The when spring first starts is always the roughest.
You should have seen me earlier. I was all clawing for the Zyrtec. Give me Zyrtec. I need it. My eyes are burning. I'm
Did you hear the status update with weaponized nerd rage?
uh
You remember how he said to accelerate his flu, he just ate like a whole jar of garlic and drank hot sauce.
all right.
Well, update. It worked apparently.
Well,
It somehow worked. Yeah, apparently he doesn't have the flu anymore, or
yeah.
at least the flu isn't that bad.
My whole thing is I just hope he sticks to not smoking, dude.
Yeah.
Like, cause don't get me wrong. I know I don't like to be that guy that's like, well, you know what I mean. You need to quit. But man, after
Um, I'm just all like, hey, your body, your life, do whatever the hell you want. I don't
but
care.
but the way that dude smokes, like I can't even like the fact that he starts every fucking video
Like
with
every video, he lights a cigarette.
it's like even his live streams, and since I quit, I can't even because you'd think almost 9 months I would have by this point at least, you know what I mean, been I wouldn't have my
Yeah,
cravings as much. But man, I
yeah,
have
but I mean, hey, who needs nicotine when you got caffeine?
dude. I I don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I went when I quit smoking. I went from drinking about 2 pots a day, maybe, to 4 pots a day.
Damn.
Uh, so no, I started. I used coffee to help quit smoking. Now I'm just like, okay,
Okay, so I'm done with smoking. Now I need something to help me quit coffee.
pretty much, pretty much. Buy the black and mild. Oh wait, no, damn it! Throws black and mild, starts forest fire. Damn it! I let Smokey down. Oh, that's and that, my friends, is why I just like I'm just like I said, dude. The whole it's. I'm glad I quit smoking. I'm just not happy about the weight I put on.
Damn.
Okay, I had for the most part almost had my abs back. Almost.
Almost.
I decided to quit smoking. Look at that jelly.
Oh boy.
Look at that jelly roll. Look at that jelly roll. I'm just saying. Like, damn it.
and and on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be calling the live stream here. Thanks for coming on such short notice there, Bob.
Oh,
Much appreciated.
oh no, I had fun. Like bounced around. Sorry, near the end here, I've been starting to get a bit of headache and be like, ugh.
That's no problem. We still kept majority of the talk to tabletop, which is kind of a record for us because we normally sidetrack the politics super easily.
I,
But
we at least kept it to politics that fall in the realm of things happening in the gaming community.
yeah, we've actually stayed pretty well on topic this entire stream. I am actually
Mm-hmm.
surprised.
Hey. And with that note, let's talk about the Byzantine.
Oh no. Well, Gorgonite left, so I mean,
I know. That's exactly why I said
I
it.
mean,
No,
maybe we want to create a tabletop game about the Byzantine Empire.
here to help Bob Jones learn about the Byzantine.
Yeah. Well, guys, this has been Table Talk with your host, me, Nicholas Nakan, Dusko himself, and with my helpful and good friend Bob Jones. Be sure to check us out on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Duskquill_team. You can find Bob Jones on Twitter at Brainiac420. And you can talk to us at any point on there. You can catch me on his channel every once in a while, especially on every Sunday with the Nerd Over 30 Politics. And possibly a lot of gaming streams of Minecraft since we've been getting back into that recently.
Mm-hmm.
And is there anything you'd like to add, Bob?
Not really. Just thank God for Excedrin migraine.
Remember, kids, drugs help.
Depending on what it is they're helping, though.
You all have a good one. I hope to catch you all next week. I should have an interview from another recently licensed tabletop game from Dungeons and Dragons, I think, or maybe Savage Worlds. It's either one or the other, but and I hope you all get your pirate caps on because it's going to be quite a ride. You all have a good one, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Later, folks.